This week's episode of I Was a Teenage Film Snob is not brought to you by a cure for the T-virus. To I Was a Teenage Film Snob. I'm James Chalmers, your friendly neighborhood film snob. And this week, after weeks of promising we'd get back on track, we are back on track. We are talking about apocalypse films, the end of the world, the sky on fire, the sea boiling, all that sort of wonderful stuff. And because we're finally back on track, we had to bring some killer guests, some absolute powerhouses back. It's also episode 60, which is nice. It's lovely. The last time they were both on the show together was on episode 50. So please welcome back the original power couple, or if not the original, I'm making them the original power couple now. It's Gabby and Andre. Welcome back, guys.
Yay!
Hello, we're all gonna die.
It's very nice to have you both back. Gabby was on actually recently, and famously, I ruined her number one pick because we were talking about albums, and I was like, well, this is an album that I quite liked, and she was like, bro, that's my number one pick.
Yeah, I was like, first of all, how dare you? Because he's like, oh yeah, it's not that bad. I was like, how dare you? And he thought I was meaning like, oh, like how could I? Like, how would you downplay it like that? And I was like, no, you little shit, you just took all the thunder away.
Well, I think what I was saying was it was unexpected for someone like me, because I think when people listen to me on the show, I always talk about how I'm into punk and heavy metal, and but with movies and stuff like that. But I was like, no, like the score for Twilight is excellent. It's really well done.
It is.
But I didn't think it was going to be your number one pick. So.
Yeah, it's funny. I was Kiana and I recently spent a weekend like up in the hills.
I saw the photos and I heard a little bit of the story behind that as well. So
yeah, so it's a little bit of forks in our own backyard, kind of, and we were driving around and we were playing the Twilight soundtrack as we were driving around.
When the full moon.
And then like it started raining as well. I'm like, there's a possibility.
That was when you started playing baseball, like get some news going.
There was a lot going on that weekend, so I couldn't fit the baseball in. But
everyone's listening, like, God, you said you're back on track and you're talking about the same crap you talked about last time. Yeah, we are, guys. It's called not taking control of your own show and just letting it flow. That's fine. Nice to have Andre back. I haven't seen you in a long time, my friend.
Hello. Yeah, and where the spa is located is actually my area, up in Belgrave. So apparently,
nice.
My where I live just looks like the Twilight movies,
it does.
Which I don't know how to feel about that.
You know what? Those flicks weren't made for you, so it's okay for you to not resonate with those films. So that's
absolutely.
Fine.
Acting like he didn't think it was cool. I'm so sick of this. Like, oh, Twilight's dumb. You're dumb.
Well, we talked about this on the last.
We
last
did.
Time you were on. Spoilers, everyone. Trigger warning. We're going to talk about that episode again, because I know we haven't got to the apocalypse yet. And that's fine. But I think I was saying to you as well, Gabby. It's like that was a film that I joined in with the crowd. I'm like, oh, Twilight, whatever. And it took a long time to be like, you know what? Those films, I was not the audience there. That audience was like 14-year-old girls. So they got their money, and the people who watched it loved it. And now, like with the hindsight of a much older man, middle-aged this year, I've mentioned a couple of times on the show now. Yeah, that look, they're like, what? Middle-aged? Yeah.
Don't say that because you're not that much older than we are.
No, I apologize, but I looked it up, and apparently 35 is middle-aged, and that is how old I'll be this year.
Oh, we're almost there.
You guys are still in your 20s. You're fine.
Yeah, not for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, it's true. Death comes for us all, and it's right around the corner for you guys. So,
start making plans.
Yeah. With hindsight, I can now see it for what it is and appreciate it. I do have Twilight on Blu-ray. I think I told you it's one of the first Blu-rays I owned. Not by choice. It was it came with the PS3. But I'll give Twilight a spin every now and then. That film set up so many careers. Like, if you like Anna Kendrick, who is arguably the most adorable person in the world, like she got to start in
I
those
find her
Twilight films.
insufferable because of that movie.
What about I mean, I'm not a huge Pitch Perfect fan, but she's great in Pitch Perfect. She's great in
I think she's annoying in Pitch Perfect.
Mr. Right. Have you seen Mr. Right?
No.
That's a great film. Sam Rockwell plays an assassin, and she plays like a teenage girl who falls in love with him. It's weird because she's so young and he's so old, but it's good. She's Up in the Air. Oh, Up in the Air. I love Up in the Air. It's a wonderful film. She's great, but she should be then. Let's give her like a dorky superhero role. Let's make her Squirrel Girl or something.
Squirrel Girl.
Oh my god, yes, let's go.
Yeah.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
She beats Thanos in the comics.
Yeah. Annihilates him.
You are just like making up a superhero. Like, oh, Squirrel Girl.
Nope.
Ow, why?
Yeah.
Squirrel Girl.
Oh, I like Anna Kendrick. Table 19. Oh, Table 19 is a good film as well. No, she's great. I got a lot of time for Anna Kendrick, but I respect your decision to not like her because of that movie. We were talking to Andre.
Sorry.
Welcome back, Andre.
Hey, thanks, man. It's all right. Seems to be the theme almost every time I'm on. Gabby will just take over, and that's cool. That's fine. I don't have much to say.
The last
anyway
time she was
anymore.
on, she's like, let's not invite Andre. Let's just keep. I'm just kidding.
You're such a liar.
My own girlfriend, my own love, not wanting to spend time with me. Oh,
Please.
big stab in the back.
Leave you guys can.
To be fair, Gabby, this never happens. Like it's never Andre and I ganging up on you. So like this is a real...
And actually, I prefer it that way. So.
Yeah, and I liked it. Don't change the format, James.
Exactly.
Give the listeners what they want. What have you guys been up to? Have you been watching much? I know that you, if I remember correctly, you've been in Barbie. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. I'm okay. I'm not gonna lie. When walking into Barbie, I didn't know what I was expecting, and the first 5 minutes, we're in gold class, and I thought I immediately regretted my decision. And I just thought, oh, this is going to be a movie for small children, and then immediately it took a left turn. And then as the movie progressed, I was like, this movie is really, really good.
Yeah,
it's
that first 5 minutes made me cry. Like when they're talking about like all the different possibilities Barbie means to little girls, I was like, oh my god, this is beautiful. Like I love this so much. I had a terrible experience though. I haven't talked about this in the show yet, but we went to a movie theater. I won't name them. But the woman next to me was recording the movie at one point. She made a phone call from her seat. She was talking loudly to her daughter. I had children behind me every time I laughed, telling me to stop laughing. I was just like, guys, like not too long ago we were respectable people. Like we just sat there and enjoyed the movie. When did we become animals? It was very frustrating, but it made me slightly distracted, but I still really enjoyed the film. And have no idea why all these men are getting angry about this movie. Like, if you take that movie if you're taking it seriously, then you miss the point of the movie.
Exactly. It's like number one, it's a movie about dolls, and and number two, even when it does make fun of either masculinity, like or the male population, it's really fucking funny. Like it's so funny.
And it's a really good conversation piece. I was talking to Tina about it afterwards because she's like, I don't know how I feel about it. And she's like, not because I think it's sending the wrong message, but the whole time it's like about female empowerment and all that sort of stuff, which is great. She goes, but at the end, like the spoilers for Barbie, it's still in cinemas. She's like, the Kens are kind of given this opportunity for redemption, and they should have redemption, but then things go back the way they are, and so the Kens don't get a place of their own. And she goes, and whilst I understand it's Barbie Land, that's fantastic. If it was the reverse, like people would be outraged.
Absolutely.
Like, why don't the women get a chance to share it? And also, like, her other point was, this is my wife saying it, not me. Like, I'm just putting out that I'm not being like, why did the men get a chance? She was also like, when the Kens take over, it's a really destructive scene. Like, it's kind of like, oh, the worst possible thing for Barbie Land's happened. But if the gens reverse, you're like, oh my god, the liberation, fantastic. Like, and what I love about the movie, it's open up conversations. It's like, yes, we can talk about this, because I don't think the point of the film, at least for me, is that anyone in that film is right. It's more about everyone deserves a platform, everyone deserves a chance to have a seat at the table and that sort of thing. And we shouldn't be just kind of going with like, well, Barbie Land is right or Ken is right. It's more about let's have a conversation about everyone getting a chance and getting access to to do things and that sort of thing. I thought it was wonderful. I think it's a really wonderful flick.
Yeah, exactly. Like like it's like the message can be quite punchy and in your face, but it also knows when to backpedal and to let the other side of the conversation go in and just get every perspective. Which I thought was fantastic.
What do you think, Gabs? Sorry, two men talking about the Barbie movie.
Yeah.
Like what feminism
Typical.
means. Oh, just lock us away. I can't wait to dress up as Alpha Ken for Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. I'll just get my horse and fuck off.
Like I'd ever take my shirt off in public. Like, no way.
With the bandana and the fringe over the bandana. That was a cool, and his fur coat. No, I thought it was really good. I understand what Tina's saying about like at the end. I think like it would have been like the expected ending for us to have gone through this whole journey about like how like the patriarchy can be dangerous for everyone, not just women. It can be for men as well. To then be like, okay, let's have everyone have a role or a job that's mutually beneficial for everyone. So I understand that part. But what I think was like why it would be a different response to like women taking over is because when men like do those things, it's like inherently violent, and women don't really, it's not like a inherent trait for women to be that way. So it would be more of a response to be like, no, we're going to fix things like in a logical way where people don't get hurt. And yeah, of course you have like female villains in superhero movies and things like that. I'm not saying that women aren't violent or they can't be violent, but the way that things were running at the start, it's like, oh, like here's this award. Yeah, I got it because I deserved it because I worked really hard. Like it's not done because it's like a boys' club. And like I think that it's like a commentary on that, which is obviously to the extreme, but just to point out how usually in these all male-led films that women are like the side characters, they're unimportant. And if they are presented as like, I don't know, say like a scientist or like a doctor or whatever, they're like unattractive or they're painted as being unattractive, and what makes them unattractive is having glasses or something. And like they're quirky and weird, but like the men are just these big, strong, like important people, and the women are not. And I think it was like a good way to showcase that in being so extreme. It's like this is what we get every day with all your like male action, like fully male cast films. This is what we see all the time. And it's completely normal for you to have that. It's completely normal. Like, you know that movie with Jared no. Is he Scottish? The one who's in 300?
Gerard Butler
and Morgan Freeman.
Oh, like Olympus is Down, or it's one of those. One of those
Olympus
ones. They've done a couple of them now.
All those ones are. There's no women in the security team. There's no woman like version of the president ever.
I don't want to worry about the movie 12 Angry Men, but spoilers.
Yeah, I'm aware. So, like, you know what I mean? So it's just like.
But there totally could be. Like, that would work.
Yeah, we could have these things and it would be totally fine. I think when the people who are getting upset about them, or the men who are getting upset about these things, are the same men that like to criticize women but can't accept any criticism. And like who like to point the finger at any marginalized group really, but will never accept any or acknowledge any faults on their own part, and that their fault could literally be as small as like, I don't know, driving slow, but they wouldn't be like, no, that's not me, I would never. So I mean, it wasn't what I expected it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be like a comedy, but it felt a little bit more like had a lot more depth than that. I thought Ryan Gosling as Ken was perfect. Initially, when I saw the like leaked pictures from like the filming, I was like, oh, I don't know, he looks a bit like silly. But he played it so well. And I didn't know how a Ken would be in a movie. I was like, is he gonna be like secretly gay or something? And like, is this like the whole gonna be the movie of like him actually being more Barbie's best friend? Or like, is he gonna be like a stupid idiot that's annoying? But like, I found him to be like a lovable idiot, because he just wants Barbie to love him as much as he loves her. And she never does. And like, you think at the end maybe she will, spoilers again, but it's just like, no, I know that I don't feel that way about you, but I want you to be happy, so I want you to do things that are cool for you, not just that don't have to revolve around me. So I mean, I thought it was nice.
It's great. And when I knew that Greta Gerwig was involved, I'm like, all right, this is not going to be just a toy movie. They're going to do something a little bit more subversive here, which I really liked. Just to touch on a couple of points you mentioned. First of all, you mentioned the patriarchy. How sinister is that line where it's like, do you guys do patriarchy here? It's like, oh yeah, but we have to do it in a different way. Like, it's like, holy Christ. Like, oh my God, like it's so real. What was the thing I was going to say about it? I can't remember, but I really enjoyed it.
The line that like I think I found the most funny was like when they're like unbrainwashing all the Barbies, and one of them goes, oh my gosh, what happened? I was just for a second really wanting to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I was like, we both laughed so loud, and like because we saw in gold class, obviously the cinema's a little bit like it's structured a bit differently, so like the seats are a bit more separated and stuff. But like everybody laughed at that, except for obviously the children who were in the movie who had no idea what that meant, who I felt bad for because. Like, not because it's a bad movie, but it wasn't aimed at them. So a lot of the jokes would have gone over their head. They might have enjoyed the bright colors and stuff, but it wasn't.
Oh, it's not a kids movie. Yeah, it's not for kids. Like, but no, it is great, really good. And yeah, I love that Zack Snyder's Justice League reference as well. Ironically, I actually watched Zack Snyder's Justice League around the same time I saw Barbie. Flick still holds up, but I didn't run to my man cave and like start crying about how unfair it all was. I thought it was, a well-placed joke. Like
the one about like where he tries to like mansplain the Godfather one was like really funny as well.
Yeah, because you was a Godfather.
Prior to meeting Andre, I've been in that situation where man is trying to explain to me as if I've not already seen it. And like I'll play along, but oh my gosh, no way! As if like I didn't study film in school or anything. Like, oh really? Oh, that's crazy! Oh wow!
Yeah, see, I'd chime in, but I hadn't actually seen The Godfather until like
this year?
Yeah, like 3-4 months ago.
Oh, so good! It's on my rewatch list this year. I've got all 3 stacked away to watch, but I haven't watched them this year. It's been a little while since I've seen them. I think they could have easily substituted Godfather for Scarface and got the same response.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I feel like they had that movie has like a cult of men that are just obsessed with reciting lines, and like they have posters of Scarface somewhere in their house.
Yeah, it was always like the tough, like 18-year-old boys in high school and stuff. And when I finally watched Scarface, I was like, why? Like, I just didn't get it. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen it. Like, it's not a bad movie by any stretch of the imagination, but it's very long. And like, of all the kind of like rise to power in like the ganglands movies that there are, it's just nowhere near the top for me. Like, it's not poorly made, but like you're competing with Goodfellas, with Godfather. like these like creme de la creme, and now I am starting to sound like Ken. Like mansplain these movies, but like just me, Scarface just doesn't quite hit the mark as this one's still a good movie.
Sublime.
Excellent. Have you guys seen Oppenheimer yet?
That's this weekend.
Yeah,
Nice.
we're seeing it in IMAX on Sunday.
I actually I remember because I messaged Gabby a few weeks back, and she was like, "We're seeing Oppenheimer in IMAX." I'm like, "Is that a you decision or an Andre decision?" And she's like, "Well, we have to see it in IMAX, but I want to see it in IMAX as well." It's great.
Yeah, I was like, I guess as soon as it got announced, I saw the cast. Like, I was so looking forward to seeing this movie. And then when I found out it was being done in IMAX, I would, yep, that's exactly what we're doing. And we're doing it with my dad because it'll be Father's Day.
Nice. Oh, very
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I went and saw it last weekend on my own. I was just like, I think Thursday afternoon, like I was talking to Tina. I was like, "Hey, I was like, do you mind if I can see Oppenheimer tomorrow night?" And she's like, "Oh," she's like, "Yeah, you should definitely go do that." I was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be done soon, and like all my friends have seen it, so I'll just go and check it out by myself." So I just like got a $10 movie. Actually, it was a free movie ticket. I got a free movie ticket in my little
Cool.
rewards, and I went and saw Oppenheimer for 3 hours, and yeah, it's solid. It's really interesting. I was saying like it's I did like a bit of a review on Instagram, but I was like, it's like Nolan took a period drama and shot it like an action film because there's not a lot of action in it, but it's nonstop. It's so unlike anything I've seen before. But I think you guys have a good time. And like if you're Nolan fans, like you know what he's like with his sound and his music and stuff, and like the flick really like it's gonna be amazing in IMAX. Like, it's gonna be so cool in
Yes.
IMAX because you'll get that IMAX sound and like because some of the stuff they're doing, I don't want to spoil anything for you, like not even risk spoiling it, but it was, I would say it's up in my top 3 Nolan films.
Nice. Another sneaky film that came out in cinema is is one I saw last week with a mate. It's called Talk to Me.
Yes, haven't seen it yet, but it is like people are loving this film. I remember seeing the trailer. I saw the trailer back in May, I think, when I went and saw Beau is Afraid in theaters. The Talk to Me trailer was out then, and it's the one about the hand, like they got like the cursed hand statue, and I was like, that looks creepy. I'm into that, and like people are loving Talk to Me.
Yeah, it's fun. Like, it was really, really good. Like it's classified as as a horror film, but it's nothing like I don't know, top of my head, Conjuring or anything like that. It's got horror elements to it, but it's an all Aussie cast. It's the directorial debuts of both Michael and Danny Filippo, who are both two twins from SA.
Yeah, they've worked on something I've seen before. I remember looking it up, and I was like, I know these guys from somewhere.
Yeah, it's a YouTube channel called Raka Raka.
Okay, they'd worked on something else I'd seen. I'm just looking them up, but keep talking. Keep talking to me.
But
yes.
yeah, the film is really, really fantastic. And I think it kind of takes place early 90s because they still have landlines and etc. But the acting in it is phenomenal. And the idea behind the horror is so fresh. It's just a completely new take on what horror films should be. It did definitely have some scary moments, but the overall story, the movie, and the construct of it was just great.
Nice.
Really, really good.
We're due for another good one. They were worked on Babadook. That's where I'd seen their names.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because for me, like I've been very honest about Australian cinema. Like I like Australian films, but I feel like they don't always get the attention and support they deserve. So the last big horror film we did, for me, is The Loved Ones, which I adore. I think it's amazing. And since then we haven't had a lot. Like Dying Breed is kind of fun. I haven't seen like any of those crocodile films like Rogue or anything like that. But apparently they're okay. And like Wolf Creek, which I know people like, it's not my biggest jam, but I don't dislike. It's just I would like more to happen in those movies. So we're due for another good Australian horror film. It's been a while. From the top of my head, we can't really count Saw anymore because those guys left Australia a long time ago, and they're all filmed in America. So I'm excited. I'm excited for like a good like scary or at least like cool and interesting Aussie horror film. So this seems like it might be the one.
Yeah, highly recommend. Like, as in terms of putting Australian films back on the map, I think this would be the one that did it.
Well, everyone's talking about it, so
Yeah, Kiana saw it. She said it was really good as well.
yeah, I haven't spoken to your sister since she left our work, so I haven't spoken to her a while. But we used to have a good old chinwag about horror films. Although she told me Smile wasn't scary, and it ended up being the scariest film of the year for me. And then she also told me that her friend threw up watching Terrifier 2, and I watched it. I'm like, I didn't throw up. I wanted to. I was disappointed that I didn't. And I was like, man, I told all these like not that I wanted to throw up, but I was like,
man, I really wanted to vomit.
I wanted to it just didn't it was built up and hyped up so much. Like even one of my friends, Jess, who was on the show last week, she had seen Terrifier before me, or Terrifier 2 before me, and she's like, I don't know, man, it's way more full than anything I've seen before, and there's some pretty upsetting scenes. I was like, to the point where I was too scared to watch it. And then I finally bit the bullet one. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to give it a go and I'll turn off if it's too much. And then I watched it. I'm like, oh, it's extreme, but it's also very cartoony. So people overhype that film. That being said, I don't recommend it if you're not into super gory films because it does go pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's probably not my jam, but
and he's a scary looking clown. Scariest clown ever.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like clowns just in general. I just feel like
what are you doing talking to me?
Yeah. the painted on the smile, no one should be smiling all the time. Has always freaked me out. But yeah, I saw it, I was like, that one's probably not for me, and that is so fine. Not everything is made for me to enjoy. But yeah, Kiana doesn't like comedy movies, so I mean, I don't trust anything she says. Although she did show me this movie. I think it's called Road to Home or something. It's really new. It came out. Well, it's not really new, but it came out this year. It's about an adopted Asian girl who goes back to her roots or something. Okay. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, but that one actually is really funny, and it's got a predominantly Asian cast. Besides, I think her two parent, her adopted parents, and her work, her boss from work, I think. But I'm pretty sure everyone else in it is an Asian cast, and there's some really, really funny moments, and then it's some touching moments. It's really, really good. I can't remember what it's called, but it only left cinemas recently. But that one, she's like, I don't like comedy movies, but this one was really good, and it was.
That's I didn't know that about it. That does change my opinion over a lot. How can you like comedy movies?
Yeah, right.
I was watching one today. I'm not going to talk about it because it might show up on your list later. But the film I was watching today, I've referred to as the funniest film I've ever seen in cinemas, and the flick is still funny. I was watching it by myself and cackling like a madman. And as I'm sure you guys know, watching a movie on your own, it's hard to laugh. Comedies are less effective the less people there are. But I was still sitting there and I was in my bed on my lunch break, eating my my chicken, and I was just literally in tears laughing. I'm like, this is still so funny. 10 years later, so I was very happy. But I'll talk about it later if it doesn't come up on your list, or obviously if it does come on your list, we'll definitely pitch in more. But it was a good fun one. Speaking of apocalypse films, where do you guys stand on those? So this has been the most divisive topic we've done on the show so far. Everyone else has gotten on board with every topic, but this one, some people have been skip me on this one. So where do you guys stand on it? You're here, so I'm guessing there's some affiliation with them.
Yeah, I actually had a bit of a hard time picking this list because as in terms of a movie genre, even though there's a bunch of movies about it, it's kind of it can be kind of hard to take seriously because it's the end of the world, or it's going to be the end of the world, so it can be quite hard to fit a solid narrative in there. Aside from it maybe being a love story, or it's all about survival, and it's just been a little bit overdone. I was going to put Mad Max Fury Road on the top of my list.
I was wondering about that because I know you talked about it so lovingly on episode 50. So
yes, yeah, exactly. But because I've already talked about it, that's just in my honorable mentions.
I love that. I love the new list for the episode.
Yeah. So I kind of let that one slide. I mean, I can you know me well enough. I can talk about that movie for days. Mm-hmm. But yes. I've got a brand new list, and I'm excited to talk about them.
Excellent. And what about you, Gabs? Do you go in for the apocalypse? Do you like your end of the world films?
I think that I tend to like the comedy ones more, the
Mhm.
ones that poke fun at, or that have a fun side to the end of the world. Because I found that when I was doing research for this topic, that I would get like midway through and I'd be like, oh, this is like so depressing, or like, oh, this is so played out, like I'm over it. Um,
And I
the
think that's
only
why people have struggled with it. But that's why,
Yeah.
like, when it's a little bit of behind the scenes, a little bit of admin for the people listening at home. I was very broad with it. I was like, it can be like disease, zombies,
Yeah.
superheroes, like volcanoes, like anything that vaguely threatens like the existence of mankind. Like the first episode we did, I had Maddie on, we did our list together, and she was doing like the Planet of the Apes films, and I was like, yes, what a great choice. And like I was talking about Avengers and stuff, those last two Avengers films. Again, I won't go into any detail in case they pop up again. So yeah, we kept it very, very broad, so that way it was more accessible for the listeners, but also for the guests. Because yeah, they can get quite depressing.
I mean, yeah, you could go the Sharknado route if you want to.
Yeah, definitely.
Not gonna, but you could.
And there are a couple of horror films that go apocalyptic as well. There's not many, but there are a few. I had a horror film on my list. I remember I dubbed it maybe the most controversial apocalyptic film list ever, because none of them were like, I would say, except for Mad Max, were true apocalypse films.
Yeah.
But you have to keep the audience in mind as well. Well, let's bang them out, guys. Let's knock these lists down. We always start with Gabby, so let's start with you this time, Andre. What's number 5 on your list?
Alrighty, so my first one is Resident Evil 1.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. What a great flick.
Yeah. Now, I haven't seen this movie in a while, but the reason why I put it on my list is because when I first watched it, and this is before I got into the games. Like, again, I'm a big fan of the Resident Evil games now. It scared me so badly, so badly. It's my earliest memory of essentially a zombie movie.
Yeah, I think it was my first zombie film as well. It was, yeah, because that came out in 2002, I want to say. So it was one of my first horror films. Definitely my first zombie film, because Dawn of the Dead hadn't come out yet. And I don't know about you, because I remember when this film came out in theaters, I was too young to see it, but I had such a crush on Mila Jovovich. I was just like, I'll watch anything this chick's in. I'd seen her in Fifth Element previously, so I was like all on the Mila Jovovich train. And it is scary. Like I always think of that elevator scene, like at the start,
Yes.
like oh my god, like. And that was one of two elevator scenes that year, because we also had Final Destination 2 with an elevator scene. But there's that, and then like when they're walking through the labs, and they're all floating in the
Lasers?
water. Well, there's the lasers as well, but they're all
Yeah.
floating in the water like the scientists, and then the woman opens her eyes.
Yeah. That was. Now side thing. I never jumped on the Mila Jovovich train. I was definitely more of a Michelle Rodriguez.
See, that's because I'm
I thought she was
basic.
great.
I'm basic, and you're into like women of the world. That's what it is.
You're just into white women who are fucking the director.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. And Gabby's face is priceless. To be fair, she did marry him, and they have kids together. So, and their daughter played young Black Widow in the Black Widow movie.
Really? Oh,
if you watch
no
that
shit.
movie, you're like, oh my god, you're like, that looks like a young Mila Jovovich, and it is, because it's her daughter. Yeah, I really like that movie. I really like that franchise as well. I've actually got that box set pulled out at the moment to rewatch over October for my Halloween movies. There are a couple of weaker entries in the franchise. I think the last one was a bit, it kind of went out with a bit of a fizzle. But
Yeah.
the first like 3 or 4 in particular, I think are solid. Like they're really good. They're really fun. Like they're not meant to be taken seriously. I think if you're going in looking for a serious adaptation of the games or a serious zombie film, you've missed the point of them. But they're so much fun, and like that first movie does so much world building while never leaving the lab. Like they just built
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, like it's so condensed, and I was umming and ahhing about whether or not I should put this one like all Resident Evil Apocalypse, because that's
that's
Apocalypse.
so good.
Yeah, like that, like that's the genre, and that like Resident Evil Apocalypse is the one that I've watched the most, because of
Me
just
too.
how cool it is. But yeah, I chose to do number one bit because it's the start of the series, like, and it's where I entered the series. And there's a particular scene where you see your first full-fledged zombie come around the corner,
Dragging
and
the axe, and
dragging the axe.
broken.
Yes, exactly. And
Yes.
that terrified me as a kid.
Yes.
Absolutely terrified me, and I had nightmares about that thing for so long. But yeah, it's just like, it was just a really solid entry for me, because of how much it scared me, what it launched, and just like how it started such a big series. I know the games came first,
Of course.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure that they're actually trying to reboot the franchise.
Yeah, they rebooted it. Welcome to Raccoon City was mentioned the first one a couple of years ago. The trailer looked really scary. Like, it looked like it was really leaning to the horror of it. I watched it. I don't remember too much of it. I remember it kind of feeling like it was trying really hard to be different, and in doing so, I think it kind of missed the mark a little bit. Like, it's not a bad film, but it just kind of felt like it was taking itself too seriously.
Okay.
But that first one, like the ending of that first movie is so perfect, where she wakes up, she rips the stuff out, and then you just see like her walk into the empty city, and there's like blood running down the buildings.
Yeah.
Like, for me, until Avengers Infinity War, that was the best cliffhanger I'd ever seen. Like, for 20 years, almost, it held the reins as the best cliffhanger because it was such a cool ending. And then set up Apocalypse, which, I would have liked if Apocalypse lent into the violence and gore a little bit more. They kind of tamed it down for audiences, and then picked it back up. But Apocalypse has that really good balance of humor. You have the Nemesis, which is incredible. And that's all practical. There's no CGI there. Like,
exactly.
I think that's a great Apocalypse film. We've never talked about Resident Evil on the show first. I'm so glad it's finally come up. That's a good pick.
Yeah, well, good.
Not that my opinion matters.
No, of course it does. Like, and like I said, because I'm such a big fan of the games, even Gabby's seen me playing, playing some of the games, and she gets a bit scared as well, again, as well as I do. But I haven't seen this movie in so long, but I had to put it on there.
Yeah, it's great. I love the idea of the games. The early games, I really struggled with the controllers because you had to like turn and then walk. And then Biohazard. When Biohazard came out, I was so excited. I haven't played more than 10 minutes of Biohazard. It's too scary. It was too scary for me.
You need to play it through. It's so good. It's so good.
There is not a room light enough to get me through that game, but I will go back.
Is that the one with that guy, this big scary guy?
The hillbillies.
No, no. She's talking about when I was playing the Resident Evil 2 remake with Mr. X, and and he follows you around the police station.
Oh, so it is that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, the one that I got scared of was a different one. The one I said is the one with the hillbilly cannibals. Like, I'll tell you how scary that game is. I haven't even got to the family. I got too scared before. I haven't even got to, and like they show it 15 minutes in. I checked out at 10. I've told you this before. I love the idea of horror, but I don't like being scared. But I will get to it eventually. Excellent. Oh, what a way to start off the list. Gabby, what's number 5 on your Apocalypse list?
Yeah, anything.
Oh, I can't hear you at all, Gabby. I don't know if it's a...
Is that better?
That's way better. I'm so sorry to make you sit up.
Oh, well, that's okay. I'll deal. I don't want to hear anything from your other listeners about, oh, this doesn't count, because when I looked up end of the world movies, it came up, so I don't want to hear anything. But my number 5 is The Land Before Time, the first one.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Exactly. Okay, it's not the end of the world for people, but we weren't there yet, so...
No, I don't think you'll get any pushback from that. And as I said, the rules were very loose anyway, but that is about the end of the world for the dinosaurs. So that totally counts.
Exactly.
Maybe the most depressing children's film ever made.
Ever.
So sad.
I haven't seen it since I was a kid for that reason, so you may have to fill me in. But I know that basically a lot of dinosaurs' parents get killed, and then they have to survive like the meteor and stuff. Is that about right?
Yes. So they like it starts off like with the all the dinosaurs sort of like stick to their own herds, like their own group species, I guess. And they like the kid Littlefoot is a brachiosaurus, I think, or
Yeah, he's like what
like a
whatever they're
long
calling it
they
now.
call them
Yeah.
they call them long necks, like in the film. And so he meets like a triceratops, like a kid triceratops, and goes back to his mom and tells her that he met a triceratops, I guess their version of it, and was telling her like, oh, she said that we like can't play together. And I think it's an interesting commentary on what parents tell their kids about who you can and can't play with in the playground. Because at the time, this was released at the end of the 80s. So, what we tell kids now and what we try values that we try to instill in our kids now may not have been the same at that time. About, oh, don't go play with them and don't go play with them, or stick to the kids that we know from our building, from our neighborhood type stuff. So I thought that was interesting.
I just don't let Zoe play with anyone. I just wrap her up in cotton wool. I'm like, no one's good.
You can play with your toys, and that's
I
about
hate
it.
everyone equally. No, not at all. That is weird. I was like, oh, so it's a children's film with death, but also segregation. Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So then like after that, there's like an earthquake, and that's when like a lot of the parents like die because they get like, as the earth like cracks, they like fall down into the hole. So like lots of little like baby dinosaurs are sort of wandering around trying to find their parents.
Oof.
Littlefoot's mum dies. It's so sad. But like it takes a long time for her to die. It's kind of like in The Lion King, where it's like it's prolonged for a period of time because the movie only goes like 70 minutes. So like in that 70 minutes, quite a big portion of it is like her death, where like she's really fighting for life, and then he stays with her and she's sort of like trying to get the last little message out to him, being like, make sure you get to, I think they call it like Paradise Valley or something, or Great Valley, which is where like they want to go. That's the safe part for them. And then along the journey, Littlefoot meets a bunch of other like little dinosaurs, and they all go on this journey together. But there's like lava, and there's so many challenges that they have to get through while all sort of banding together and like overcoming their biases or prejudices before, like that they previously had before the disasters were happening. But yeah, it's a lot going on for a 70-minute movie that's aimed at children.
Yeah, well, they're like, hey, for 20 minutes of this 70, let's just focus on that mum dying. Let's just really zoom in. Let's get every wistful look, every tear.
Yeah, so it's a lot of emotions. Like I thought it was really sad, but at the time it was like right around the time of like where dinosaur movies were like really big. Spielberg actually produced this as well. So I mean, like that's pre Jurassic Park, obviously, but
definitely.
he clearly got a taste for
had dinosaurs on the brain. He's like, right, now that we've made them cry in the animated world,
let's
bring it to real life.
Exactly. So I thought like that one, it was such a big part of my childhood. I remember going to like family friends' houses, and they had all of the Land Before Time movies on video, like VHS. There's like 14 of them or something.
There's more. I think it's like 30 now. There's so many. Like they kept making them like direct to DVD and stuff.
Yeah, so we'd watch them that all the time, and also Thunderbirds all the time.
Love Thunderbirds.
Yeah, so
I was like, to be sound like Thunderbirds, and I was like, yeah, the marionettes, like, or unless
yes,
if you
yes.
watch the live action one, I don't know, but
No, it was the marionettes. Because their dad was like really into it, so we'd always watch it. But yeah, so that is my number 5.
that's a solid pick. And again, it's the debut of The Land Before Time. We've never talked about it on the show before. I just haven't seen it in so long. I had very little to say other than I knew it was sad and there were dinosaurs in it. Andre, what's number 4? How are you gonna follow Resident Evil? Like, what a strong opener.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought I'd try and chuck something different. In on my list, at least a funny one. If you think you guess what it is.
Well, there are 2 on my mind, and there were 2 on my list. There was The World's End and This Is the End. So those are the 2 that were on my list. But if you got something different, I'm keen to hear it. Or
I've
okay,
got I've got Shaun of the Dead.
oh, fantastic! Great,
Yeah.
excellent.
Yes, yeah. As in terms of a apocalypse movie. Even
It's
though
funny. I went with Edgar Wright's other apocalypse film. I was Robot Apocalypse. Yeah.
Yeah. Even though the military comes in at the end, it kind of sweeps the town. I imagine after that, the world is still in peril. But yeah, essentially we have our protagonist Sean. Except he's a 30-year-old loser with an easy lifestyle, like an electronics store, and he lives with his best friend Ed, in a small flat on the outskirts of London. He has a girlfriend Liz, who essentially just wants him to grow up and do something with his life. Like at the start of the film, they break up, and then. And then essentially, the town is overrun by zombies. So Sean and Ed have to go and grab Liz and Sean's mum to hide out in a pub and wait until it all blows over.
Yeah, the Winchester.
Yes, exactly, like the Winchester. But yeah, I chucked it in there because I thought I'd at least have one comedy movie on my list. And Nick Frost and Simon Pegg, they run off each other so well. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think this is the first movie in the Cornetto trilogy.
It is. So previously they'd been on a sitcom called Spaced, which Edgar Wright directed as well. If you've never seen Spaced, it's definitely worth your time. I don't think you can get it anymore on physical media. It had a very limited run in Australia. But basically Edgar Wright, who directed Shaun of the Dead, directed it, and they play Simon Pegg plays a roommate to another woman. Because there's a really iconic scene in Shaun of the Dead where they're walking behind the fences and they meet the other group of people.
Yeah.
Every person that they wave to in order is someone that the other person was on a sitcom with. So
really,
so Simon Pegg waved to the woman. That's his roommate from Spaced. The Bernard Black from Black Books. Dylan Moran. He's the one who's like, oh, I'm not in love with Liz. That guy. The girl he waved to was on Black Books with him. Like they're all connected. Outside of the movie, it's like a really fun little British TV Easter egg. But yes, they were on Space first, and then they did Shaun of the Dead, which launched the Cornetto trilogy, but also launched like not only Edgar Wright as a filmmaker, but the pairing of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, which I would say is probably the best cinematic duo ever.
Yeah.
I can't think of 2 who work better. Like the biggest crime in cinema is we don't have more of it. We've got like 4 examples of it, and I want more.
Exactly. But, like those those 2 carry every Edgar Wright movie. But especially with this one because it's the start of the trilogy. Like and they're both still quite young. They they just run off each other so well. Especially that scene where the news explains that you have to destroy the head, and zombies are in their backyard, and they're just throwing records at
not that one.
Just ones I don't like, and just shifting them at at their head. Yeah, it's just it's such a breath of fresh air, and it makes fun of not makes fun of, but it's a parody of depressing zombie films. And even though it is quite sad. It is quite sad near the end. Spoilers when Nick Frost gets bitten,
or even more so, like when his mum dies. Like
yes,
that's so heartbreaking.
Exactly. Yeah, that was Yeah, that sucked. But it's for my post-apocalyptic film. It's just something necessary that you have to watch. It's a nice bright shine of light in like in what's usually just a pit of darkness. And
Yeah, and I do agree. It was definitely a much needed breath of fresh air in that genre because zombie movies have been going pretty strong for a while, but they were starting to kind of lose momentum. Like, because people like it was like the zombie movie was always the easy film for people to make in theory because it was cheap. You get a bunch of white makeup, bunch of blood, you got a zombie film,
yeah,
and people exploited that to the point where it's like, okay, but can you do something interesting with it? And then in 2003 we got Shaun of the Dead. In 2004 we got the Dawn of the Dead remake, which I would say are two of the best zombie films ever made. Like, and then
hmm
suddenly zombies exploded again, and like 10 years later we got Walking Dead and stuff like that. It's just
yeah, yeah.
no, it's wonderful. I was just thinking, like when they're throwing the records, when they first discover the woman, they're just standing there, and Sean, the best delivery of anything maybe in that film, where she goes, "Wow, she's so drunk." It's a great flick. Yeah, Shaun of the Dead is excellent, and another solid apocalypse film.
Thank
Gabby,
you.
what is number 4 for you?
Number 4 for me is one that has been discussed a fair bit during your apocalypse era. Sorry, I was like, I was looking for like an appropriate word.
I like
Period. Yeah,
Era. I like it.
era works.
I'm
But
like
it
Taylor
is,
Swift. It's my ears, you know.
yeah, it's a apocalypse era tour. But yeah, it's This Is the End. So
Yes, that's the
um,
one I was watching today.
yeah. Um, I watched it recently. As you said, definitely still holds up. Um, it is so funny,
So
and
funny.
like I think it's important, like staged humor, or like with a comedy. Say if you take something like Superbad, Step Brothers, like those kind of movies, yeah, they're really funny, but it's staged humor because it's not real. You know, they're playing characters, whereas they were playing themselves, and the humor was directed at themselves. Like they making jokes that were like, you know, legitimate comments that one could say to another person um in that scenario, or like, you know, given a really difficult situation like that, people would turn on each other, even if they were close friends. So I think that made it funnier.
It
Well,
feels
from my
very organic.
understanding, every argument is improvised. So, like, there are story
Yeah,
beats they have to hit, but like one thing that that group are known for doing in all their films is a lot of improvisation,
yeah,
and it shows. Like, I'm about halfway through it, and literally, I don't know if you remember this. I'm already laughing because it's so funny. Like, it's when Emma Watson returns, and they let her go and sleep, and they come out, and they're also talking about what they're going to do. And Jay Baruch, I was like, I think we should address the elephant in the room, and like, don't talk about Craig Robinson that way. It just made me laugh so much. All and like it's a very wonderfully filthy film, and they
yeah.
execute the filthy jokes so well. But my favorite jokes in the film are the clean ones. Like there's a moment that comes a little bit later, and obviously the exorcism of Jonah Hill, which is amazing.
That part is my favorite because it's like the power of Christ compels you. Oh, it compels me. Well, I don't feel very compelled, and I just like that is so funny because that is like that's how I have arguments with my sister or my dad, or even kids that I teach. They'll like say something. Oh, is it really? Is it really? I don't think so. And
Jonah
so
Hill
like
is
I
solid in it. Like
so funny.
sick reference, man. What if I hug you? What if we sleep Scarface style? Like all of his jokes are just so good. Or when they find the gun, he's like, ah, bang, bang. I'm making myself laugh so much. But no, my favorite joke is Craig Robinson. He's sitting there and they're talking about why they've been left behind. He's like, we've got it hard, man. We're actors, you know. We gotta lay on the beach, act like it's warm when it's cold, pretend like some dude's surfing. Like the first time I heard that joke, it set me into tears. I just was so dumb.
Because it's also their delivery too. Like they say it's so serious, and like it is like it's a movie meant for normal people about
mm,
people who aren't that normal. Like we put these people on a pedestal, but they are just this. They're the same as us. It's just
mm,
that they picked a job that pays really well,
yeah.
and it's designed in a way that they're automatically idols. like whether or they either are or they're definitely not, where people then can criticize them. So, I mean, it's funny to have them talk about a job that we as like, the peasants who just pay to watch them, see them, and like they make those comments like, oh yeah, we like our job is so hard. And then, people in the cinema who are watching this work quite physical jobs or like, mentally demanding jobs. Not to say that acting isn't both physically and mentally demanding, because you could argue that, many people who have done superhero movies or like, even Schindler's List would be very both physically and mentally draining.
Yeah, I guarantee you that Tom Cruise is working hard. Like,
Oh yeah. Yes.
Unnecessarily so at points, but definitely.
As is his cosmetic injector, because he doesn't look as old as he is, and that is through the work of Botox and potentially Scientology, but I don't know too much about it, so I don't know if that's helping.
Maybe, who knows? He seems to be very happy.
Hey, if that's what it does, I'll convert.
That oh man, that flick is genius. This is the end. Is like to know, and I'm only about halfway through my rewatch it myself, but to know 10 years later it still works. Like, because some of those films haven't aged very well. Like, I don't know if you've watched 40-Year-Old Virgin recently, but there are some jokes in there that don't hold up as well.
Yeah.
But, and not to say it's not a good film, but they don't. And like Superbad, like, is ridiculous and a lot of fun. But again, like,
there's stuff that they say that's like
the premise of that flick is like two guys want to get to a liquor store so they get enough alcohol to get girls drunk and sleep with them.
Yeah,
like, that's the premise of the film. And like, like this, obviously they're idiots and they're fools, so it is kind of, the power is taken away from the men quite a bit, which I liked about this new wave of adult comedy, which is like in the American Pie version, the women were always kind of the ones caught out and tricked, but now the men are. So I think it is a good switch. And you do have, like, I just remembered from Superbad, it was like, oh my god, look at this enormous bottle of spermicidal lube. Jonah Hill, like, will always be amusing to me. What a great
film. It's like you went with Muhammad, and he's like,
why don't you just pick a normal, common name? It's the most common name in the world. Read a book.
Like, oh, I'm in.
Oh, I think someone's got an exam tomorrow. Does someone have an exam tomorrow? Do you know? Do you know what food's shaped like dicks? The best kind.
Yeah, I love the ending credits when it just shows all the drawings and like.
Yeah.
That was the funniest thing.
Actually, that came out at a perfect point in my high school career, where drawing penises on your friends' notebooks and textbooks and diaries and everything was just the thing to do. I mean, it still is. I teach teenagers now.
It was like,
however,
I'm older than you, and like we were doing it as well.
Yeah, but at the time, it came out at a perfect time, so they weren't just like, the classic like two circles and like cylinder shaped type appendage. They were really intricate and detailed, and people were putting cowboy hats on them and making them fancy. Now it's gone back to no creativity at any point. But when
no one wants to be an artist anymore,
that's it. But when Kiana and I were moving like into our new house, she was like labeling like her boxes like, oh, like clothes, like books, whatever. And I started writing on the other side like hardcore lesbian porn and like hentai on the other side. And then I just drew like a massive wiener on one side, but it was like a Superbad style one.
Yes.
And like at her like friend came over and saw, he's like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, I don't know. She's so weird. Like, I don't know why you hang out with her. I don't know what she keeps in there.
Oh, that's so funny. It's so it's the kind of prank that I know that she would get caught out and like she'd be annoyed by. Like, knowing what I know about her, she would be furious. Well,
she was just like, oh, because like at the time, like her boyfriend came over and he was like, what the fuck? And then my dad saw it and he was just like, Kiana, what the fuck? And then because Kiana, like, she sucks at lying, and like not that she needed to lie about that because she didn't do it, but because when she does lie, she'll start laughing or she'll smile. Because everyone else was laughing and smiling, she was also laughing and smiling while trying to be angry, and my dad just wouldn't believe that it wasn't her. So she's like, "It wasn't me," and then he's like, "Yeah, sure, Kiana." I'm like, "Yeah, Kiana, like take some accountability. Stop being so immature."
I'll have to send her a message later, like, so I understand you've been graffitiing and moving boxes.
Oh, I
Uh,
love
oh, excellent. I'm so
just
glad This Is the End came up. Like, I know we'd like to see new movies, but at the same time, like that movie, like everyone should watch it. Like, I don't care how offended you are by stuff. Like, it's so funny.
I haven't
Um,
seen it.
oh, what? It's such
Yeah.
an easy watch. It's like an hour 40. Like, it's such an easy
What
watch.
did you tell? You said, "Oh, okay." There's a movie on Andre's list that I haven't seen, and he's like, "Oh my god, we have to watch it." That one we also have to watch.
Okay.
It's such an easy watch, and like, I'm not kidding. Like, it's so funny. Like, it's so ridiculous. I can't imagine anyone seeing that film and not laughing. Like, even my dad, who doesn't go in for blue humor, I think would enjoy it. Like, it's a really funny watch. All right, let's move on to number 3, Andre. What do you got for me?
So my next one is A Quiet Place.
Great flick.
Yeah.
Great flick. Come up a few times. It's a newer one that people are getting into, but definitely a worthy addition to the list. I love A Quiet Place.
And Gabby actually has it on her list as well.
Yeah, that was my number 3 too.
Oh, cool. Perfect. Excellent. Well, I will let you guys take it away. I love A Quiet Place. I think it's genius.
Yeah. It was definitely a shock to me. I mean, John Krasinski coming from something like The Office. Did he direct it?
He did. It's not his first film. Everyone thinks A Quiet Place is his first film, but he actually directed like an indie comedy back in 2016 called The Hollers. Wonderful movie. If you haven't seen it, it's got like Charlie Day in it, and I I can't remember who else. Like, it's got a great cast. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's been a while since I've seen it. But The Hollers is wonderful. But after I saw that, I was like, great. I want to see whatever he makes. And then he came out with A Quiet Place, which was his second film, and was a smash hit. Like, just tore up the box office. Like, nothing. Like, that was such a high performer. I think it's genius. I've said that already, but it is. It's really good.
Yeah, like I won't really go into the plot because it's probably been explained better by other people.
That's fine.
But it's just a very intense film, and for a film with not a lot of dialogue, the characters have to have to feed off each other's reactions, and what's going on with the scene predominantly without talking. And I think they found the perfect cast for that. And Emily Blunt plays is fantastic at as a mum. Again, while she's supposed to be pregnant, and during that scene where the basement's flooding and the monster comes into the basement and the baby's starting to cry, but it's so intense. And I thought the ideas for the creatures to have super sensitive hearing is was fantastic. It had me on edge. It really did.
It's we were talking about that movie. Yeah, I think it was on Nick's list, and it was also on Maddie's list. And every time it comes up, we talk about the nail scene because like she's just like they set that nail up, like you know what's happening, be like it won't happen, and they don't drag it out. Like sometimes you'll see like a scene like that, and they'll like kind of lean into it. It just happens like that. She just steps on it and then reacts. And I was saying to Maddie, I'm like, man, like that just seems like the most painful thing. It makes me cringe. And she goes on to tell the most badass story. She's like, I've done that before. I still didn't nail it. Like my thumb was attached to my foot for like 6 hours, and like whatever it was, I was like, 6 hours might have been longer than that. It might have been that long. But she's like, yeah, I was walking around, I had to like wrench it out because my thumb was stuck to my foot, and I was like, don't make me throw up. Like, just why are you telling me this horrifying story? Yeah,
I find it painful enough to step on Lego. So
yeah,
to step on a nail or a pen or anything sharp, pointy, no, not for me. I've like stood on the side of a plug before, so not like the pointy part, but like a plug that was like on the floor, and I stood on like the rubber part, I guess, and even that hurt enough. So I don't. Maddie must have either been like otherworldly drunk.
Oh, she's tough. She's a tough gal. Yeah,
incredibly tough. Or maybe she's one of those people. Not looking at anyone right now that likes to wear bare feet everywhere. Because I mean, she said she was wearing thongs in the story, but I know that if you walk around bare feet enough, that you develop like hard, scaly feet.
You like callus your foot over. Yeah, the only time my feet are bare are like in the shower or in bed. My feet are
I am the same. I get a pedicure like every 3 weeks. So
I'm not. I don't go that far, but like I mean, I would love one.
Trotters would not cope with a nail.
See, so that's so weird to me because I like both my older sister and I grew up in the mountains in Colorama.
Mountain people. Ooh.
Yeah. No, we're backwater savages. You get like a monkey sound at me.
We're going to talk about wrong turn in a second.
Yeah, we both grew up in Colorama, and you know the vast majority of of our surroundings are rocks and dirt. So we never wore shoes.
Sorry, thinking about wrong turn. Because that's the one with like the mutant people, right?
The mountain people. The remake, it's more of a cult who live like in the woods and stuff. Because the remake's a little bit different. But yeah, they're mountain people. But I just want to point out, I wasn't doing like an ape. I was trying to do I was just trying to be like someone who's like lumbering with logs under their arm. That's what I was doing.
Is that like that's the same one where like at the start they roll like the spikes out on the road?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I thought like I don't know why. I just thought it was like it was scary in parts, obviously, and like gross. But like the sounds that they would make and like their faces were just so
like the screeches and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of the time I was just laughing at it. So like,
are you comparing me to a mountain person?
What I'm saying is when he said that, I just imagined both you and your sister making those noises, and I thought it was funny.
Well, I mean, look, let's not go into why they are the way they are in Wrong Turn, but let's just say being brother and sister in that movie didn't matter.
Nope.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, Gabby's making some inferences here that I wasn't.
I didn't say Wrong Turn actually, so you can.
I know, but then you said him and his sister were making those noises.
So let me get this straight. Because I grew up on a mountain with not fragile feet.
You didn't grow up with not fragile feet. I'm
a mutant incest monster.
Well, I should hope not. Otherwise, I wouldn't be a very fun girlfriend for you. But anyways,
so back to A Quiet Place.
Oh yeah.
Andre's like, I wish this podcast was a quiet place. Stop making fun of me.
Shut up. I thought that like one thing, like I thought it was a really, really well done movie. I thought Emily Blunt's performance was probably like the standout for me, just because like every emotion that she was showing was so clearly like you were feeling it with her because she was so emotive without having to speak. And I think like words are great, especially if you're gifted with a large vocabulary. That's not really a gift, you have to work on it. But that movie, she doesn't need words. Like everything that she's going through, you're experiencing with her. The fact that she gave birth in practical silence, she must be a superhero because
she's barefoot as well.
Yeah, barefoot. I couldn't imagine it. And also,
if we can reference the badass that is my friend Maddie once again, I have seen clips from her birthing video of her latest child, because she did a pool, like a tub birth.
Oh wow!
And she made one noise. She went, oh, and then like it was done, and it wasn't even that loud.
How many kids has she got?
2.
Okay.
So like,
I was gonna say, if you said like 6 or something, like don't they just fall out by that point?
Yeah, what's that Family Guy joke? I walked out twirling a cane. No, she's only had 2.
Okay.
And yeah, like I've seen like just a small clip from the birth and stuff. You can't like say anything. It's just you don't really see her face. But like before I saw that, I was like, "There's no way someone gives birth in silence." After that, I'm like, "Okay, so it's possible." Like she was just like cool and like she was just like tough as nails. Just 1, 2, 3, breathe.
I
Kid
feel
came out,
like
barely made a noise. Like
yeah, I know that like most like tattooists will say that women have a higher pain threshold than men do. Like they sit far better during that long exposure of being in pain. However, I don't think I've ever been quiet in my life, so I can't imagine
that's why it's
giving
Andre's favorite movie. He's like, "It's a dream of mine just to live in a quiet place."
Right now,
it's a
yeah.
fantasy. But that's all it ever will be, a
Getting
fantasy.
shit on for not wearing shoes.
I hate it.
Oh, I
so.
wish I could do it. Like it's not like I'm not like because I'm wearing socks and slippers right now. Not gonna lie, listeners, it's gonna be gross. My feet are sweaty. I
Yeah, they
wish I
would
could
be.
just I wish I could just rock out with bare toes and stuff. I don't like the feeling of anything touching my feet. It's just like leave.
I don't either, and I also don't like if
It'll be my
I
downfall. Like if I'm ever in a quiet place, like I'm not even walking down the stairs. The stairs are too rough on my feet.
you're gonna end up developing like Spider-Man hands, like you can just crawl up on the walls and stuff.
Please, that would be amazing.
But I don't like the like any texture on my feet or like if I stand on like a floor and I can feel that there's like crumbs or dust on it,
yes. I knew you were gonna
it
go there.
makes me like
Yeah.
it sends me into orbit. It's so disgusting to me. But yes, one thing though that I didn't like, I understood, but I also didn't understand is in that movie at the start, obviously very confronting, traumatic scene with the child.
Harder to watch now. It was when I first watched it, I was like, "That's messed up." Now that I have a kid, and like, I put my daughter to bed right before I came and recorded this. Tonight was a night where she decided not to be quiet and go to bed straight away. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like in Quiet Place, we're done for. Like, thanks, kid.
Thanks a lot.
Because even when she's like, even when I'm like, "It's okay, time to be quiet," and she's like, "Okay," and then just starts talking to herself in a whisper. I'm like, "That's not being quiet. Like that's just doing the same thing at a lower volume."
Time for quiet time. Okay then. So, anyways, basically what I was saying.
Yeah.
But what I didn't get is like, why would you have a baby in that situation, in that scenario? I understand, maybe like I don't know.
My feeling was that either because it was only like 60 days later or something. It was quite
it
early.
wasn't long after, yeah.
So they'd either given birth before it happened or she was pregnant while. But I think they'd already given birth because he was walking, so he would have been quite young before the invasion happened.
Yeah, because I was like, why would you like want to draw attention to yourself like that? Because babies cry.
Oh yeah, and then with her being pregnant during the rest of the film, I imagine that she got pregnant pre invasion as well. Because again, it was only like because I think like it's 9 months, so that's like 270 days or something. Like it's and they were like day 100 into the invasion by the end of the film. So like
okay, yeah.
so she would have been
now,
pregnant,
okay,
but she would have been pregnant before it
right,
all
yeah.
happened.
Because like I was just like, surely no. Like, why would you endanger yourself like that? Because like, yeah, babies are great and lovely, and you know, yay for you expanding your family, but that is dangerous.
I've just been while we talk about, I just realized that obviously Andre loves movies that ends with women holding shotguns because we've had Resident Evil and we've had A Quiet Place now.
Yeah,
but it was end with a woman cocking a shotgun.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's just like at the end, she's like
bang.
Cool.
That's great. Let's move on to number 2. Like there is not a bad movie in this bunch. This is a really strong list on both parts. What's number 2, Andre?
So my number 2 is Pacific Rim.
I've never seen Pacific Rim. So
No.
Yeah, but come on, guys, you're killing me.
So this is one when it came out. It got really mixed reviews. Is it Del Toro? Did Guillermo del Toro make this one? Or did he produce it?
Produce it.
Yeah. When it came out, there was very mixed reviews. That people were like, it's the best kaiju film of all, and then other people were like, no, it's not even close. And this was released during a time when I was very snobby. So it's a film that I now want to get to. I haven't got to yet, but it's definitely on my list.
As in terms of a big dumb monster movie, this is the pinnacle of a
Oh,
big
awesome.
dumb monster movie. Like you have Godzilla versus King Kong, and that's a fine big dumb monster movie.
I agree that it's fine. Like I think it works better in theory than in execution because I love Skull Island. I think Skull Island is brilliant.
Yeah.
The Godzilla films I don't think work quite as well, and the reason is the human story doesn't work for me. Like in Kong Skull Island, the human story is very like fun and like they're all trapped, but there's a bit of humor. You got John C. Riley. Like Kong is quite humanoid, so there's human emotion there. Whereas the Godzilla films, they feel quite stark and detached. So in Godzilla vs Kong, there are moments that really works, but it has too much of that Godzilla kind of clinical human story, which I don't care about. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
And again, like the film ends with spoilers: Kong and Godzilla fighting Mecha Godzilla, and they've got weapons. That should be amazing, and it just didn't quite land for me. But it's not a bad film. It just, I'm just agreeing with you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This movie in particular is is one of my favorites. Essentially we start out in the past as a legion of monstrous creatures called kaiju, and they invade the earth through a portal under the sea, in essentially a war to destroy humanity, and these are ginormous monsters. So to fight these kaiju, mankind developed giant robots called Jaegers. They're designed to be piloted by two people who are essentially locked in a neural bridge.
Okay.
They work together in the way like one person pilots in the left hemisphere, and the other pilot pilots the right hemisphere. Because just because of the sheer technology, it's too much for one pilot, so they have to work in teams.
My interpretation of it, and forgive me for trivializing, because I'm certainly not doing it, but this is the best way to explain it. When I saw it, I was like, oh, it's kind of like Power Rangers. Like they're in the Megazord and they fight the giant monsters. Like that's kind of to simplify
In a
it a little.
sense.
Like,
Yes,
I'm not trying to reduce it, but to simplify it for people listening, that's what it kind of looked like to me. But again, there's probably more gravitas and drama than, say, in a Power Rangers film.
Yeah, there is. But that's essentially it, like, for the action scenes, and there's I can't remember how many months or years mankind has been using their Jaegers to fight this ever going through kaiju, but it starts to work, and eventually it turns into these pilots are seen as rock stars and saviors, but after a time bigger kaiju start coming through, and again all these Jaegers and all these pilots start dying, until it's effectively only 5 Jaegers left, because the world's pulled all their resources to build these things to defend themselves, and they've kind of just run out. So in X-Pilot, one of the Jaegers played by Charlie Hunnam, who's fantastic in this movie, and an untested trainee, her name's Rinko Kikuchi, team up in a promptu pilot, last man standing mission to close the rift, and now I'll preface this, that speech from Independence Day.
Yes, vaguely.
Yeah. It has one of those speeches from by Idris Elba, who plays who plays the leader on the military at the time or whatever, and it's I'm not gonna lie, it's almost as good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice, excellent. You definitely getting me excited for it, and I guess I just never seen too many trailers when it came out. I was going to say it was quite pretentious back then, but you really get me excited for it. I think the next time I go thrifting, which will probably be next week, I'll see if they've got a copy of Pacific Rim lying down, so I can pick that bad boy up, because
exactly.
I'm picking up everything you're putting down.
Yeah, the battles are fantastic. The CGI is really great, and the music just gets you pumped up. Now again, this is a big dumb monster movie, but but there's so much happening in between, and it develops a really decent side storyline about these underground networks, because at the end of these battles, these kaiju's leave residues and bones and precious materials, and that these underground organizations are mining and selling and stuff. Yeah, so it builds a world around this disaster, and yeah, it just fits in quite well. It's one of those movies I can watch over and over again because it's so much fun. Now, again, it is a big dumb monster movie.
Like every time you say those words, "big dumb monster movie," I get more excited. Like you're selling me on it harder. Is this the one that Gabby hasn't seen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
But
I actually like monster movies. So I liked the Kong Skull Island.
So
I even liked the Godzilla ones.
Oh yeah, they're not bad. Like, and that's what I was saying before. Like, it's not that they're bad films. I think they're well made. I just feel like whenever they do these big monster films, they feel the need to inject a human storyline. And sometimes the storyline isn't done very well. So the Kong one I thought was done really well. I actually think it was one of the best ones I've seen. But I feel like, especially in the second Godzilla film, King of the Monsters, they're like, these kids are going to save the day. And it's like, they don't, like, it's Godzilla. Like, the kids don't need to save the day. You've got Godzilla there.
Like, I get you there.
But they're certainly not bad films. So definitely, definitely enjoyable.
But yes, definitely watch it. If anything, the music itself will just get you hyped. We so pumped up. This the soundtrack is great. It's so much fun.
I don't clearly from a visual point. I don't go to the gym, so I'll just use that soundtrack because I drive to get candy instead. I'll be getting pumped full. I'm heading to the servo to get some chockies. Let's do it. Excellent. But you've sold me on it 100%. Like it's not been talked about on the show before. I definitely want to check it out now. So I was just saying to Andre, Gabby, next time I go thrifting, I'll keep an eye out for Pacific Rim, and that'll be added to my collection. Gabs, number 2 for you. We're at the pointy end, as we say on this show every episode, just about, because I've got no other catchphrases aside from nice one.
An excellent.
Excellent. Nice one. Pointy end.
That's a triple threat.
Nice pointy end. Excellent.
So my number 2 is the first Maze Runner movie.
Interesting. I have seen this one.
I could have put them the first 2 in there. The third one I didn't love just because it wasn't the maze part of it was gone. It was more political and stuff. But that's kind of how I felt about the Hunger Games as well.
Not enough games.
Not enough games. I like the games.
I think the first time we saw the Maze Runner, I've seen the first 2. I think is the second one Scorched Trials.
Yes.
Yeah.
And is that one? There's a moment where they're running through a city and they fall through a window, or there's a window right above. I've only seen them both once, but I remember that being very cool. I haven't seen Maze Runner in a long time, but I think my initial review was you know what? I know it's called the Maze Runner, but maybe a bit too much maze. I think that was my initial review.
Yeah, I mean, I like that you were sort of finding out with the character what was going on. So you're experiencing everything for the first time as he was, and then you sort of find out little by little what's going on and that they're stuck there, and then because he's breaking rules, things keep changing, and so it's it starts off us against or me against them, and with Will Poulter's character,
kid with the eyebrows, Will Poulter.
Yeah,
Dylan O'Brien, I think, is the lead. Kaya Scott Hilario's in as well. She plays the girl.
Yep. And there's also the kid from Nanny McPhee in it.
Oh, and Love Actually as well. Is it?
Yes.
He's great. It's like Brody Sanger something.
Sangster, I think. Yeah. But yeah, so he I like that he's like brave and adventurous, but I can definitely see where like Will Poulter's character is coming from because like you're freaking new and you just changing everything and ruining everything and like
Mm,
they'd gotten used to a certain routine and by no means was it like a perfect life, but it was working for them.
mm,
It wasn't getting them any further ahead, but it wasn't putting them any further backward. And then this new guy comes and like decides to change everything, and then like from their perspective, that is like really fucking it up for them.
mm.
Um, and so I thought that was interesting. It was like really crazy to see that like when they had that like model of what the maze looked like, they're like it keeps changing. Like we've tried everything. There's no way to get out, and everyone else that isn't a runner is living under the guise that like we're still trying, we're still finding new things, but we've known about this for ages. That like there's no getting out. Like we're just stuck here. Um, so that was really cool. I thought like at the end, like the end was really sad. Um,
What happens at the end? Remind me. I haven't seen it in a long time. I
so
think I saw it
like
in cinemas once. So.
like they get out and before they like get into the maze to get out, um Will Poulter's character, he like tries to stop them and then they end up fighting their way through and they get like through the maze, like through these little like pipelines and stuff into like the like office slash lab part
Mm.
where they were like watching them from like the control center and like there's bodies everywhere from like
Oh, isn't there is it a like a disease from the sun or something? And it's like
yeah
giving them
yeah
like they're like
yeah
sun zombies or something?
yes, so like it's like the maze is like in the middle of like a desert.
Mm.
um and like at the end like Will Poulter's character has been stung by one of the um I think they call them grievers, and it's kind of like a scorpion type thing machine, and he gets stung by it, so he's going a bit loopy, and he tries to stop them and like shoots like the kid that's nice to the
Mm.
Dylan O'Brien's character like the whole time, and he dies, and it's really sad
That's right, I remember that.
because like they're not nice to him, but like those two are like friends the whole time.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. And yeah, because I remember they're showing like there's like clips on the screen or whatever, like what happened to Earth and like the reason they're doing
Yeah,
the maze run, the maze is because they're trying to like find a cure
yeah,
to this like
because
virus. And I remember saying to my
yeah.
wife afterwards, I'm like, that was the coolest part of the movie. Why wasn't there more of this? Like that was.
Yeah, yeah. So I really liked it. I think that like it's a fun movie. Um, but I think yeah, more in depth, like into that part of it would have been cool. Because in the second one, like they still don't really go into that part too much about what
Mm,
happened on the outside. They leave it very vague up until the end, like the last movie where they're like, oh, like he's the cure or whatever.
spoilers. I haven't
Um,
seen the third one, but that's okay. I'm in no rush. Although you are making me want to rewatch it now because I'm just remembering bits and pieces from it. And I would like to go through it in this new lens of me liking things more. So I would like to give it another go. Um,
Yeah, I don't think it's a like I don't think the third one's bad. I just think like what was interesting or fun about it was like the trials and tribulations of how they get out.
mm,
Or how they overcome the big challenge because it's like there's a similar in the second one where there's like a big challenge they need to like overcome and like them working towards that was like quite interesting to me.
mm. No, good one. Again, we've never had Maze Runner on the show, so like this is a pretty fresh list. I think the only thing we've repeated is Quiet Place and This Is the End, and they're worthy ones to repeat. So I'm happy with all that. Again, not that it matters whether I approve of your list or not. This is a new thing I'm trying where I judge your lists. No. Andre, we are at the end. Number one. What is the top of your apocalypse? Like it's a strong list. So how do we round it out?
So originally, I was going to do Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, such a good film.
Um, but I think that's already been done previously.
Mm.
So I decided to go with one of my favorite childhood movies. It's an animated film called Nine.
You're going to be disappointed. I haven't seen it, but I know which one you're talking about. Josh, who's been on the show, was obsessed with it when it came out about 15 years ago. It's the one with like the sack people. And they've got like the little,
The
he's got like a
ragdolls,
little needle and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, like so I know we'll talk about the movie in a second. So my friend Josh has been on the show. He's a game designer. He was obsessed with this movie. It influenced his art style quite a bit moving forward. It kind of changed direction for him to a certain point. If he listens to this and he disagrees, then he'll call me out on it. But from what I understand, it really did influence a change in his direction because it was so unique and so different. But and that Blu-ray sat on my like TV cabinet for months. I never put it in. He lent it to me, and I was like, "Look, I haven't had this. I'll just take it back." So I had the chance to watch it so many times, but I know what you're talking about. Oh, what a unique pick! What a great pick!
Yeah. Produced by Tim.
Sorry, Gabby's pulling faces. Are you eating sour food? Is that what it is?
I just ate a warhead.
No, she actually hates me. But yeah, So, produced by Tim Burton, starring like Elijah Wood and Christopher Plummer, Jennifer Connelly, John C. Reilly. It's a great cast. So
is it the director of Nightmare Before Christmas? Is it Tima?
Shane Acker.
Oh, okay. No worries at all.
Yeah. So the movie is quite bleak. That's probably the best word to describe it. But it came out on the 9th of the 9th, 2009.
I remember that year.
About this to me before.
Yeah. So so essentially, like after an apocalyptic war between humans and machines, the world has just been completely destroyed and devoid of all life. However, before everything went under, a scientist essentially split his soul into 9 different parts, and put them into 9 different rag dolls from 1 to 9.
Oh my god, like Voldemort.
I was about to say he did it before Voldemort made it cool.
Fucking walking Horcruxes.
I thought is it 9? Oh, you know what? I was going to say is it reference to Dante's Inferno and the 9 circles of hell, but it's 7 circles of hell, so that would not be correct. Never mind. Keep going.
And Elijah Wood playing our main character of 9 is essentially the last doll to wake up, and he finds himself in this new Earth that is there's nothing in it. There's no plant life, and there's no humans anymore. There's no war between other machines or humans anymore. There's nothing aside from these 8 other rag dolls. And again, I don't know if it's explicitly said, but I think these dolls probably represent different parts of the human personality. You have 9 who's very compassionate, and craves some companionship and friendship and wants to help. And then you have 8 who's got a taller, stockier build, again is quite dumb. The more of a fight or flight kind of thing. Even though they're quite small, he walks around with half a pair of I think it's half a pair of scissors tied to his back.
I'm looking at the character posters right now, and he's got like a knife and then half a scissor.
Yeah.
And it's funny you talk about him being like bigger and larger because the guy who voices him, Fred Tatasciore, is like the voice of the Hulk in like every animated thing ever. Like he always does.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he does Hulk voices. He does the Thing. Like anytime a character shows up with a deep voice, he's the go-to guy for voiceover work. So yeah. So it's quite fitting that he's the guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have the impromptu leader, number 1, who's very much a follow my commands. I'm the only person who could possibly lead you, and stuff like that. It was when the original trailer came out, I was so pumped to see to see this movie because I'm all about that art style. I was still into everything creepy back then. But but essentially, our character 9 can hold a special key to essentially kickstart the world back up again, and the whole adventure is like, well, it's supposed to be all of them working together to to restart the world. And there, like, again, there are still machines out there to block their path, and it's a lovely adventure. From from something like released in 2009. I will admit, in my opinion, it does end a bit abruptly, but the journey itself, I love it, and the art style, I love it, and again, it's just been one of my favorite movies since I was a kid, and it just happens to fit into the genre.
I was going to say the art style is gorgeous, and this is a deep cut. Like, this might be like one of the deepest cuts we've had this round. Like, it's such like a obscure film, but I'm glad that you brought it up, and I'm glad that I was at least aware of it. But yes, I remember, as I said, my buddy Josh talking about this one a lot, and everything you're talking about is sounding very, very familiar. So, to his frustration, I'm finally going to watch it, but not on his recommendation.
Yes. Sorry, Josh.
So good. That is a strong list. Gabby, you're going to round us out for the night. What is your number one pick? Your top 5 apocalypse films?
It's High School Musical. No, I'm just joking.
It's Twilight, because it's always going to be Twilight now.
No, so my number one is Bird Box.
Another film I haven't seen.
Okay, I think you would really like it.
Is this the Choose Your Own Adventure one on Netflix, or is this?
No.
No.
So
I know they did as well, but okay, cool. So go on. Sorry.
Yeah. So this one, it starts with Sandra Bullock's character Mallory. She, like, at the very start, you're like put in the middle of the story, and then you get put after like 5 minutes, and you get put back to the start, where she's like this woman who's like alone. Her sister comes to like fetch her for an appointment, and then you find out that she's like heavily pregnant. But Mallory seems kind of like hesitant in being a parent. Like, you can tell that she's not like super excited. She's a bit like, oh, I don't know, like. And when she's at the appointment, her doctor's like, if you're not 100%, like, there are options for you. And then when they're leaving the hospital, this woman, like, she notices this woman like staring at her, and then she looks outside, and she like smashes her head against the massive glass window and like kills herself.
Oh.
And everyone's like, what the fuck? And sorry, I forgot to mention that, like, before they leave for the appointment, her sister's like, oh, like, the news is going crazy. Something's like going on like overseas. Anyway, on their way back from the hospital, they're talking about something, and all of a sudden, like, her sister who's driving, she gets like almost like in a trance, and she's like, oh my God, stop. And she like crashes the car. And so Sandra Bullock, like, heavily pregnant, like, has to crawl out of like a flipped car, and then watches her sister also commit suicide. And all of a sudden, everyone's like running around, the cars are crashing into each other, and she's like, what the hell, like, what's going on? She's sort of like crawling on the ground. She starts running and gets knocked over, and then like a woman comes to help her and take her in the house. But then this woman dies as well. And so she gets pulled into this house, and there's a bunch of other people in the house, and they're all like, what the hell's going on? The news is on, the phones aren't working. Everyone's freaking out. And it's like, they find out that there's this like apocalypse type thing of like evil entities that are going around and like killing people via suicide. Like, they get into your head somehow and make you kill yourself. And so throughout the movie, they find out that, like, you have to actually look at them, and that like kind of like a basilisk in Harry Potter. Like you have to look directly at them, otherwise like you're safe.
And that's
so that
why on the poster she's blindfolded.
yes, so like if they're gonna leave the house, they're blindfolded. If they're like they go to the grocery store by like blacking out windows of an SUV with a GPS. And so then they leave their house, they're like, traveling obviously very slowly, and they put the digits in of the of the grocery store, and they go in, and the grocery store luckily has not been looted. So like they're able to get a bunch of stuff, and she gets these birds. While they're there, the birds seem to get like really irritated at the presence of these like entities, because there's a guy that's like in the loading dock of the shopping center, and he's like, oh, let me in, and they let him in, and he's like being affected by the entities. But they're like, how come he's still alive? Like, how can his eyes were open, what was going on? So it's a bit of a like a developing story. They go back to the house, things happen. There's another pregnant woman at the house. She comes sort of like midway into that part. And middle, Sandra Bullock's character and her character end up going into labor at the exact same time. When we first meet this lady, like she's really excited to be a mom, and like she's like really sweet. And then Sandra Bullock is like, she's not like a bad person, but like she's kind of pessimistic. And then they go into labor at the same time, and this random guy that they let in the house earlier, turns out he is a baddie. He's been affected by the entities. And so but he tries to like expose everyone to the entities, like starts ripping off all the newspaper and like stuff that they've used to black out the windows so that the entities can like affect them. Anyway, then they like Sandra Bullock's character like moves on from that area, and she then has these two kids that she has to like protect, and they're like constantly moving because they realize that there are those people who aren't affected, like don't kill themselves, and so they're like targeting people. And so while they're at this house, they're using that walkie-talkies to communicate with like other people who are still like okay. And then they hear from this person saying, hey, like come like find us, blah blah blah. But they don't know if they can trust him, because obviously the people who aren't affected, they can still talk to people like normal, and they can like they're masking as normal people. So it's like sort of like a leap of faith that they have to take. But because you haven't seen it, I won't like ruin the end for you. But I just thought like it was a really good like thriller horror without being too scary. And I thought that the like the development of Sandra Bullock's character from the start to the end is really cool. Like the stuff that she goes through and like has to deal with by the end, like she's sort of come full circle. Like she's not full circle, because that full circle, I guess, just back to where you started. But like
she has a bit of a 180.
Yeah, because like she starts off like quite closed off, and then she like comes like she's a bit more open by the end, but there is a full circle moment at the end as well.
She has a 270 moment. She doesn't go full circle. She goes halfway between a complete change and going back to where she started.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought it was really good. When it first came out, like it was massive because it came out on Netflix, I think during the I don't know, it wasn't during the pandemic, it was before, pre-pandemic actually. I'm almost certain it was like, because I feel like I was
2018 it was, so yeah.
Yes, yeah. So because that's right, I remember I was still working at GYG when it came out, and yeah, I thought it was a really good watch. Usually I'm like a little bit too scared to watch movies that are marketed as scary by myself, but I watched that one by myself.
That one was huge. I remember when it came out, like everyone was it like had the same cultural impact as like Squid Game. Like everyone was just like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, everyone watched
Bird
it.
Box, and but I didn't watch it. Like not because I was like, "Oh, I'm not going to watch it." Like I just never got around to it.
Yeah,
but I'll definitely give it the old suss out soon. After I've watched 9 and Pacific Rim, I'll have to get that to the list as well.
Please do.
Oh, absolutely. Excellent, guys. Those are some solid lists. Those are some very apocalyptic movies. And I'm digging it. There's a lot of new stuff in there we haven't talked about before, and a lot of stuff I haven't seen, which is always nice as well. Before we wrap things up, and we'll wrap things up very soon because it is late. I don't know what time Andre's to get up tomorrow morning, but my guess is soon. So we'll quickly go through our apocalypse rapid fire round, and then we'll get out of here. So first of all, guys, which apocalypse would you most want to be stuck in? Out of all the cinematic apocalypses, which is the one you want to be stuck in if you have to be stuck in one?
Oh. Is there an apocalypse where everyone's just fine and friendly?
I think Planet of the Apes. Maddie talked about Planet of the Apes, and she was like, "Look, if you're not like near the apes, like it's actually quite peaceful. Like you just go into if you go into like the woods and just live in the woods like a little tree person."
I mean, yeah, as long as you don't piss off Kobo too much, then you'll be fine.
Or the Matrix. If you're stuck in the Matrix, you're not unplugged. That's quite, it's quite.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah,
everything's just the same. That's not a bad one.
Because I've always thought that like if there was an apocalypse situation, I would just kill myself. Like that sounds really like morbid and dark and horrible. Like you don't need to worry about me. I'm fine. I just choose not to. Like I wouldn't run for a bus. Why would I like do that? I just feel like that's trying way too hard to be alive. I didn't choose to be alive. I didn't choose to exist. And now you're giving me the option to either be constantly fearful of dying or just to do it myself. I'm going to do it myself. I don't want some freak zombie to like bite me. I don't want to die of a sickness. I don't want to be like burnt alive or frozen. I don't know. Or I don't want to drown underwater. Like lava, not for me. So I would just choose to DIY. I don't know how. I don't think there's any nice way to do that. I haven't thought about it very much, but
I could kill you, baby, if you want.
yeah. You know what? You just do it and do it like in a way that I'm not going to see it coming, and that would work for me.
Sure.
And I wouldn't
roundhouse.
Just cuts like a montage of Andre trying to snap your neck, but just not like. So it gives you like neck pain, like chronic neck pain in the apocalypse.
So I got feeling a bit funny. But like I wouldn't haunt you if you did. If you did it when I didn't want to die, then yeah, you're getting haunted. I would be like a really horrid poltergeist. But if you did it so that I didn't have to live in a world that is like ravaged by famine or like disease or natural disaster, then I would be like, you know what, that's so fair.
I'm gonna try and be a team player. And the I Am Legend universe, but I'll be living out in the cold where the virus can't survive.
Nice.
Maybe I find a colony of people that are also living out in the cold. It'll be cold, but people survive in the cold, and that's that's fine.
That's not a bad. That's a pretty good one. I like that one as well. Yeah. I think This Is the End isn't too bad because you have to do is like one good deed and you go to heaven, and then you get to hang out with the Backstreet Boys. That's pretty good. You guys all right?
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. My dad set up the smoke alarm.
I didn't hear anything, so we're all good.
Okay. Good. Okay, because I was just like, are you kidding me?
No, it didn't come through, so we're all good. So either your mic is really good or not very good, and either way, it's worked out for us.
Probably the latter.
Alrighty. Which hero do you want to most be teamed up with if you're stuck in the apocalypse? So you might want to get stuck with Mad Max, or maybe Furiosa might be a better pick. You might want to get stuck with Neo. Who's looking after you? Who's keeping you safe and protecting you in the apocalypse?
Squirrel Girl.
What a callback. And a great call. And played by Anna Kendrick as well.
Oh, there you go.
Just to annoy Gabby in the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Hate her in Twilight.
Yeah, then I would kill myself.
She's so good.
The superhero, right?
Oh no, it doesn't have to be. I just said hero, just like someone who's going to keep you safe, but it doesn't have to be a superhero. It can be anyone.
I would want Caesar to keep me safe, the ape, or if I wasn't allowed to choose Caesar, then I would choose like Iron Man.
Iron Man's a good one.
He'd be cool to live with.
He's got plenty of suits. He's got a suit that's gonna
a
keep you
suit
safe.
for me, as like a room for me in his big old house. I feel like I could.
Yeah, I don't think Iron Man really let anyone die, did he? Like most of his people, like you don't want Batman looking after you. Like Batman's cool, but like he's seen so many people die. Like Batman's not keeping you safe.
No.
But both of them are very rich. I mean, it'll like at least Batman had but you know what? Batman will respect a boundary. So I'm gonna go Batman.
Yeah, nice. Excellent. If you go like Dark Knight Returns, Batman, especially, he's learned from all his mistakes. But like a lot of Robins have worn that suit. Like
yes.
Excellent. Actually, to be fair, he's very good at keeping civilians safe. Just his sidekicks, not so much. All right. The apocalypse obviously has some challenges with the terrain. So, what is your post-apocalypse vehicle? What are you using to move around at the apocalypse?
I want that big monster truck from Zombieland.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Yeah.
And a great movie.
Yeah. That was like a honorable mention for me.
Oh yes, Zombieland. Like, I didn't even think of that movie. I'm trying to think of something cool. Like, I mean, I could say the Mystery Machine for funsies, but
that's a good pick as well. That's cool. Like, it's got nothing. It's got nothing like uniquely like kind of protective about it. It's just
exactly.
A van,
like,
but it is a cool
with,
van.
Like, the best paint job in the world.
And it's loaded with Scooby snacks, so you know you're gonna be fine.
Yes, yeah, no, exactly. Like, I mean, I could be a massive asshole and just say one of the arcs from 2012.
I haven't seen 2012, so I don't know what they are.
Noah's Ark? I don't know.
Yeah, well, but basically like they're ginormous arcs that they were meant to survive the flood, like the big flood, like of the 2012 apocalyptic movie. And they can fit hundreds of people. And there's just so much space. So
hey, it's your apocalypse. If that's what you want, you take it.
Exactly. You know what? I'm going to keep myself completely safe on my giant titanium boat filled to the brim with supplies. That, you know what?
Not people.
No, fuck all the people. It's all for me.
Hey, you're playing it safe. You're going to survive.
Exactly.
You might go weird. You know, you might become like the weird, like, and then you have to go back in time and like kill yourself or something like that because you become strange and alone. But you will have your supplies.
Thanks. Passed away.
Except I'll have a giant boat.
Have you guys seen Lightyear, the Buzz Lightyear movie?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I won't say anything else then. It's good, but I'm not going to say anything else. And then last question for the Apocalypse Rapid Fire. Who plays the soundtrack to your Apocalypse? Are you going like Mad Max heavy metal? Are you going very melancholy and like well scored? Are you going Hans Zimmer drums and strings? What are you doing?
Limp Bizkit.
Because you just want to break stuff.
Yes, exactly.
I'm going. You know what? I'm going to go Blink 182.
Two answers we've never had, but I like them both very much.
Simply because like a lot of their music can just be casual driving, sing along music. But you can also smash. You could also smash like 5 zombies in the head with a baseball bat to it as well.
And it's sanctioned rebellion, so you never feel too dangerous. You still
exactly
on your arm. You're just blasting it.
Yep.
Excellent. Well, that brings us to the end of the episode, guys. Very good answers. As you can tell from my rapid fires, I'm running out of questions. So hopefully the next topic is going to be 2000s, I think. So I'm going to find some 2000s oriented questions. But that's going to do it for this week's episode. We want to thank Gabby and Andre for coming back. It's always a pleasure to have you both on, and it's been a while since I've had both of you at the same time. So good to have you back. and looking forward to having you on the show again soon. If you would like to support this show, you can go and buy a fancy t-shirt or hoodie or sticker. You can head over to tpublic.com and just type in I Was a Teenage Film Snob or click any of my links. Gabby and Andre have I Was a Teenage Film Snob t-shirts.
Yep.
And,
Yes,
and
we
they're
do.
very comfy.
And they are.
Yeah, they are.
I still haven't washed mine because I don't want the print to get damaged, so I've got to wait and fold it inside and wash it. But I've only worn it a handful of times. So you can support the show by buying some merch. I don't get any of the money really, so it's not about that. It's just about promoting a cool show and a cool logo. If you want to follow online, head to Instagram. I Was a Teenage Film Snob. I post there pretty regularly. I had a bit of a break when I had my teeth out, but I'm back, bebe, and I'm putting up videos. I'm doing reviews, and I'm doing thrift chats and all sorts of stuff. So there's all sorts of content there. So you can check that out very easily as well. And if you comment or DM me, I'll respond because I ain't got nothing better to do. And I like talking to people about movies. Thank you again to my wonderful guests. They'll be back on very, very soon. But until then, as we say every week on this show, I was a teenage film snob, but I'm trying to be better. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.